All right, so just to kind of scroll through some quick examples of some success stories within our customer base within California. So these are actual real life California examples using the Pi system. If you are a Pi user and you don't see your name up here, it's all right, you're still a success to us, all right? So don't feel offended, all right? So yeah, as kind of what's been, the theme of this, right? The Pi can have a wide variety of use cases, whether that's, energy efficiency improvements, whether that's process optimization, monitoring things for like quality and safety, making sure that if you're maybe like a wastewater facility, different quality metrics of certain particulates and things within the water supply is up to code and up to standard. And when those things do arise or kind of momentarily out of spec, how can I react and adjust for those kinds of events? So, City of San Leandro, you can see this is some basic, very rarely basic trends on aeration within their facility. Also with City of San Leandro, right, this is I don't think we've shown too much visually, but this is Pi DataLink. So this is a Excel-based report that brings in their SCADA information as well as their limb system data, where they're kind of aggregating this and providing some, color codes of maybe different, quality readings or different process values and metrics. The nice thing about the DataLink solution as well is, you saw with Mike or, maybe if you saw me in the demo booth over there where it's asset aware, DataLink is also asset aware, right? So if there's an asset in the Pi system that has been created, right, and I create a report, whether that's in Pi Vision or DataLink, right, I can easily swap to a different asset. Once I focus that asset on that asset, all the metrics and information apply for that given asset. So again, really in terms of a developer lifecycle, I don't have to do a lot of monotony of copy, paste, search, replace, that kind of workflow. San Jose Water, again, there's another example of a DataLink report, Excel-based report on, I think this is a pumpage report. So, what can we start from? Customers before the Pi system and where can they end up? Right, so this is City of Riverside. Right, look at this is kind of a bunch of different Excel sheets. We've kind of made snippets of them, but these can be related to target production versus actual. This can be related to potable deliverables in terms of how much water are they pumping. This can be different water quality metrics as well, right? So think of these as maybe different sections of a Excel spreadsheet, maybe different sheets altogether, and maybe the workflow is maybe manual in nature, right? Where they had to export some data out of maybe a historian, do some Excel magic and data manipulation in Excel, and then once it's in Excel, they can consume that and use the Excel reports and charts and things in there, right? So they went from this and went to a Pi Vision screen like this, right? It's the same information. It might slightly look differently, but look, it's for me personally, I feel like this is very clean, and again, it's web-based, right? It's easily shareable. It's consistent, right? So I know I'm looking at the latest version of that data or that information. I don't know. I'm not worried that I've got an Excel sheet that was months old, and is this the right data or is this not the right data, or is more information come in since then? Another example of they have some particulate metrics of things like uranium, you got nitrates, perchlorate, arsenic as an example of some of those values within their system. And then there's also some manual data collection that might have been pumped in into the Pi system as well. So they aggregated that as well into their solution. And again, different look and feel, but again, presenting that same information and with the confidence that it's going to be consistent and the latest data. This is, I'm not sure. It might be, I actually can't remember. This might be still City of Riverside. But this is permit tracking, right? Water quality, right? Keeping track of those nitrates, the arsenic, pH levels, E. coli, right? You know, and then using the nice, easy to use visual tools of PyVision, right? Are we in good quality with these metrics or are we not, right? And when we're out of spec or out of quality, right? Things will, you know, flash different colors or things like that, like a typical SCADA environment. But again, this is read-only, and it's kind of democratized so that people on the enterprise level of a facility can consume and use this data. Jumping back to San Jose Water, so this is a pump performance dashboard. You know, keeping the statuses of all the pumps throughout the facility, different areas of San Jose Water's production facility. Again, you can keep track of different metrics and then flag for any kind of lower efficiencies or lower performance with these pumps through the tools and things like that with PyVision. Again, this is an individual station performance pump. Down or up at the top, right, you see this is High Street Station, right? You know, again, I can just click that drop down, pick a different asset or a different area. It'll reformat, repoint all the information related to it for that next area. So really only somebody created this once. And because of the asset awareness that the Pi system has, it's able to kind of regenerate all that information for that individual display. So energy information, right? So if you want to tap in, you know, California is nice in the sense that a lot of the public utilities or the energy providers have API endpoints that we can tap into, pull in that information into your Pi system and aggregate that and compile that against my process information. So I can do things like energy efficiency tracking, maybe not water related, but we have a customer, UC Davis, who does a lot of this to, hey, when energy is expensive, you know, we're not going to tap into the grid. We're going to use our internal coolant system of water towers to kind of cool our buildings to maintain that HVAC. When water's cheap, I know it's cheap and I can run and tap into the grid and consume power that way. So it's a nice way to kind of optimize the energy usage of a facility, but really, you know, the general theme of all these use cases is, you know, we're aggregating multiple different data sources and presenting that data in an actionable format that allows people to do what they do best and, you know, maintain and monitor processes. Yeah.
Once you build these reports,
yep.
you can save them in real time. So in other words, you're not going back and reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
You built this report today.
Mm-hmm.
In 7 days, I want to go back and look at it again because I have to present this to somebody or send this to somebody on a weekly basis. Will it auto-populate on its own?
Yeah, yeah. So once you create the display, you have the option to save the display. Once it's saved, you can have the option of, okay, you know, there's some use cases where you want to present that display to some users but not all users. So you can articulate those role permissions of, you know, who should see that information. But yeah, fundamentally, it's create the display. Once it's saved, it's available at any time. Again, it's just a URL link, so it's not hard to get access to. On the actual, like, you know, PyVision client, there's kind of like a searchable kind of tool, that homepage, so to speak, where I can browse all my different displays and filter through different areas and things like that of wherever they might have been saved in the past. But yeah, that's very easy to do.
It will update on its own?
It's a real-time display.
Real time?
Yep. It'll update.
Once
yep.
it's built, saved, you're good.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. And you saw with Mike's demonstration, right, how quickly the information populated. Good question. Again, a different, you know, cost, you know, display of you know, runtime versus my pumping costs. And then this is a manufacturing customer, Harris Wolf Almonds. So maybe you've had their almonds before, but they actually are a recent customer. But this is a ongoing project and some snapshots of what they've managed to produce pretty quickly. And they're managing things like throughput and they've broken it down on hourly increments. So during those hourly increments when throughput was low or not up to standard of what their targets were, we can kind of flag those in red, and you see that there. And then you see some higher level KPIs of asset or line uptime or availability, as well as product throughput. And then the downtime of any asset is kept track in that bottom left screen. But yeah, so again, very easy to kind of create these. I say for Harris Wolff, they've gone the approach of they've kind of contracted an integrator to get them started, and then they've kind of take that as a learning experience of learn as we build, and they've begun to kind of own the solution and create content themselves. I'm over time, so we'll just skip through that. But that's kind of the end of the kind of customer examples. But if you have any questions, if you want to talk after, happy to answer them. But again, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for sticking through the end. And thanks for coming.